Hello and welcome to part 2 of Soulwork. We did a whole training yesterday. The replay will be available for 1 week. The same with today's. There are a few of you that were here yesterday joining us right now, and this is going to be a very powerful training today. So be sure that you have a pen ready, a journal ready, some water, vibe out your space, and we are going to dive in. All right. So yesterday we were exploring the energetics of dissolving work that is no longer reflective of who we are today. It's like our past hasn't, or our future self, our job is not caught up with who we are now, right? Our physical reality is not caught up with who we've taken the time to become, more of our true self. And now we're ready to tune into our true calling and have that be part of whatever we're doing for income, whatever we're doing pretty much every day, right? 5 days of the week, most people. We want our passions and our joys and our excitement and enthusiasm to be in our work, in our careers. So I believe that's why you're here. This is a friendly reminder to be fully here today. Bring your full presence, turn off your phone. I know that we're on Facebook, but just make the video big so that you're not scrolling in other places and get the most out of this. Because I always say what could happen is if you're doing other things, you might miss the opportunity for a download to clearly come through, right? We really can't be in two places at once. So be fully here, give it 100% and you'll see the results of this either while we're in training or later on. You may have a lot of aha moments, as Chelsea had shared. All right, so as always, we want to tune in. We want to attune, like a tuning fork, to the vibration of, I'm going to say, possibility, hopefulness, enthusiasm, receptivity. All right, so let's feel into those words. Close your eyes, bring the hands to the thighs or the knees, straighten the spine, take a big breath in, exhale through your mouth. Feel your sit bones on the chair or on the floor, wherever you're sitting, and begin to exhale and melt the energy down through the sit bones into the ground so you can be fully anchored. Maybe you want to imagine roots from your tailbone or your sit bones growing down into the earth. As you inhale, you're pulling up life force through the roots, up the spine. And you hold the breath briefly, feel any tension in the body, and exhale, release that tension. A very slow breath, drawing up the roots from the earth, drawing up the spine into the belly, into the rib cage, sipping a little more air to the heart. Hold the breath. And exhale all tension out. Rub the hands together at the heart center, activating all of our energy, all the meridians, 72,000 meridians in the hands alone. Bring the hands into that beautiful prayer mudra. So mudra is a prayer position or a meditative position for the hands. So prayer pose is a mudra. And we're going to tune in again to those vibrations of the words possibility, hope, enthusiasm, excitement. And feel that at the heart center as you continue with some long, deep breathing up the spine, up to the heart, holding the breath. Exhale, grounding down. And we'll tune in with the mantra, the seed sound of Om. Just one time today, just a long Om. So a big breath in together, exhaling through the mouth, and an inhale to tune in. Om. Inhale, hold the breath. Drop the shoulders back, lift the heart, feel the sacred sound moving throughout the whole body, clearing you of anything that's ready to go, and then release it with the exhale. Gently open the eyes, shake out the hands, shake, shake, shake. Again, just shaking out anything that came before this moment. Really shake vigorously, and then we're going to do a big breath out and let any old energy go out the fingertips. So on the count of 3, we're going to drop our hands and exhale with a s. Okay, so 1, really shake. 2, 3, inhale. Exhale, drop the arms down, and imagine all tension going out the fingertips from the shoulders, from the neck. One more time, inhale deeply. Exhale. Everything, every tension point in the shoulders and the body just leaving through the fingertips. One more time, inhale. Exhale. Yes, it doesn't take much to tune up. The longer we do it, the more we feel, the more consistent we do it, the easier it gets. All right, so I'll be checking your comments throughout this training today, and then some time for questions at the end. And as I had said previously, I have something really exciting to share at the end. I had a fascinating download last night myself, and I'm going to talk about it a little bit at the end of this after we speak with Casey, who will be here in just a few moments to talk about her journey from working a corporate 6-figure job to leaving behind that security and becoming a full-time sound healer. So I'm really excited to have her here today. She's been sort of a twin flame for me on my journey, and she's just a very important person. Some of you may even know her. We do a lot of programs together and in Nashville. So today we're going to do that, but a quick overview from yesterday. We talked about the fact that you're here probably because you feel like your job is not in alignment anymore to the things that you're desiring more excitement in your job, more joy. And I'm willing to bet that many of people in my community are driven by a deeper purpose. You know that you're here on the planet at this time for a reason. And it's not just to, wake up, make the money, rinse and repeat. Of course, we want that abundance because we want to be able to nourish ourselves. So we want to create work that provides for us abundantly so that we can keep our energy optimal. But we're not just doing it for the money. We want to do something that is fulfilling and that is part of our divine blueprint. I believe that we have a divine destiny, a map that's created for us. And the more we can open ourselves up to communicating with our deeper self, with our source, that we can begin to walk the path and discover the clues of why we're here and what we're meant to do. So that's a lot about what we talked yesterday. We used the acronym ACT, and that stood for taking action in a direction that is opposite of what's not working. No matter how small or large, you start getting the energy moving by doing one small thing and one small thing after the other without getting tripped up about the big picture. Just following the breadcrumbs and keeping a clear mind and your energy at a peak state and being able to catch it when it's dipping and know the tools that bring it back to the clear frequency so that you can continue to take the next step. All right. And then the second step in our acronym ACT was C for conscious reprogramming. We know that when we make a decision to move in the direction of something that's bigger and more expansive, then the old programming is going to come up. And really, it's not like the universe is punishing you and going to bring all these challenges your way. It's just that your neural pathways are so used to going a certain way. It's grown really comfortable that when you start firing off these new ideas, your whole system and your body's like, wait, we've been going this way for so long. Like, what are you doing? We're not safe going in another way. So that's why it takes the embodiment of those higher frequencies to be like, no, and redirect it. We are actually going this new way. We are creating a different way for ourselves. Like there's two of you, but you know what I mean. Your higher self, your ego, trying to work together to make the thing happen. And then the third thing for acronym ACT was training the mind. The mind, especially when you're at a job that isn't thrilling you at the moment, it can become really easy to vilify people, just complain, right? Complaining in your brain and like solidifying that vibration and that frequency. And we have to start bringing the frequency of the higher expression of you to the current job. And it's going to feel really weird for a while because it's going to feel like this person, the you that's passionate and studying things that interest you and expanding your skills, and then you go into the job that doesn't represent that, there's going to be some resistance there. Typically, there's some resistance. You have to somehow hold this higher expression of you vibration in the current job. Bring yourself there fully and trust. And this is the number one thing I said yesterday that you're going to want to tell yourself every day is tell yourself that this job is a necessary step to your true calling. It's a necessary step. So don't miss the boat. Don't miss the opportunity to get what you're meant to get out of it, learn out of it, clear. If people are triggering you at this job, if whatever's triggering you is a perfect opportunity to be done with it for good. Okay. And at the end of this training, I'm going to talk about some tools that you can actually use to do that, to uproot, to dissolve, to be done with that energy once for all, so that that job can't even exist because you're just now fully embodying the higher expression of you, the next step for your soul calling, your soul work. All right. So that was our review from yesterday. Let me just have a quick peek and see if there's anything else I wanted to say about that. All right. I think that's it. So I want to ponder this question together and take a moment just to drop into your body so you can receive it, so that you can allow yourself to be open with what can come through. Go ahead and just flip your left hand up, either on your knee or your thigh, and bring your right hand to the heart. Take a big breath into the heart. Exhale the mental energy out. And dropping fully into the heart center. When you inhale, imagine that you're actually like sucking your brain into the heart. We're going to drop the heart into the mind. Same thing when you exhale. Let the brain energy melt down into the body. And feel into this question I'm about to ask. Is it possible that the things that light you up, the things that excite you, the things that you feel passionate about, is it possible that these things are also things that will allow you to be a light in the world for others? What lights you up are the things that make it possible for you to be a light in the world for others. And that's why it's in your divine blueprint. That's why it lives in you to have that passion, to have that desire in the first place. Is it possible that you can call those elements that excite you, that light you up, into a job where you feel that your service and exchange of energy not only nourishes and supplies you with abundance and prosperity, but it's changing the lives of others and the frequency on this planet? Is that possible? Can we change the definition of what work is? Take a big breath in, exhaling through the mouth. ready, just open the eyes and let me know. Was there resistance? Or did you feel that excitement? Did you feel that possibility? I can promise you that, there was a time where I was so scared that I was going to be stuck in work that I loathed forever. And I knew the tools. I knew what I could use to clear out, but my mind was very committed to feeling like a victim to my circumstance. And when you begin to take the first step, when you begin to explore what it could be to bring more passion into your life, to bring the things that excite you, to learn new skills, when you decide to perhaps even build a business around it or reach out to a job that exists already that is more, that has more of the components of what you wish to see in your reality. Of course, fear and anxiety and doubt is going to come up. That's totally natural. It's absolutely natural. But you just take the next small action anyway. And you surround yourself with the vibration of, and I'm going to keep talking about vibration because I'm a musician. I think about tuning up to these frequencies and these vibrations of possibility. And sometimes that's just throwing on a podcast that's like, oh yeah, that's the person I want, I want to be the person that believes that, not the one that is going to swim in fear and loathing. And when that fear and doubt and worry comes up, to get yourself at least in a place, you might not feel good. You might meditate for 30 minutes or chant mantra for 30 minutes and still feel a bit of that fear and worry and anxiety, but you'll be standing a little bit of a distance away from it. And when you're standing a little bit of a distance away from it is when you can examine it. And that's what I was talking about yesterday with the conscious reprogramming. You can examine it. Why am I so scared to go after what I want? Why am I so scared to have faith in the next step? What was I taught about what having work means? What was I taught about responsibility? What do I want my new belief to be? And this is where you may want to invest in some guidance, in some mentorship, into some support, because it can be a deep thing to go into. But this is how we level up. It is a process. We don't just write an affirmation 10 times and the next thing you know, your dream job's there. If you don't have a bunch of issues around jobs, and that could happen, if you don't have that programming, but if you're here, then it's probably because you're ready to up level to the next thing, right? So let me know, darlings. Let me know how this is landing with you. Chelsea says, I felt peace and was able to see clearly that my passions can easily bless other people. Yes, easily. And I said yesterday, only in the way that you can deliver it. Don't get tripped up on everybody's teaching mindfulness or everybody's teaching, whatever it is, business coaching, I don't know, whatever these popular things are right now. If you get caught up in that, you're going to just, no, I'm going to teach it in my flavor, in the way that only I can deliver due to my experiences, due to all the deprogramming and healing I've done. And this version of it is going to speak to my people and my tribe. That's if you're creating your own business, which it sounds like is the direction many of you want to go in. The other way is if you're looking for, some of you want to work for someone. You want to go, you want to clock in, and that works for you, but you still want it to be something you deeply love, and you show up and you're like, I love the people I work with. I feel uplifted. I feel inspired. Why would that not be possible in a job? What would you have to believe about work and making money for it to not be a place that takes good care of you and that respects you and that values you and you feel good going to, right? Think about every movie you've seen growing up, right? Oh, work, even the word is just like, it's heavy, it's dense, right? Work. It's just, that's ridiculous, right? We should be like stoked about what we do. So whether you're looking to be an entrepreneur, start your own business, or work at a job that's already available, start pulling in the elements of the things you want there, the words that hold the energy, the vibration of it, and remember to just move through the doubts. Just make the decision, make the step, and then let it go. So it's all nothing without surrender. We move, we surrender. We move, we surrender. All right. So I think Miss Casey is about to arrive. I hear little footsteps out here. Yeah, come on in. Our beautiful goddess, Casey. She's bringing the chair in. I just thought it looked better without the chair in.
Perfect.
All right, yay!
Hi.
Welcome.
Good to see you. You look beautiful.
Thank you. You do too.
Thank you.
All right, so yes, this is our view.
Perfect.
Yeah, you're good. Scooch back and touch me. Okay. I can see you. All right, so this is Casey Lane. I had mentioned earlier that we've done lots of work together. We are like twin rays or twin flames. I don't know the way soul sisters. Yeah, the way we met was pretty magical, and it was just like insta friend. But we also have a similar path where we are committed to doing work that is fulfilling and that we feel could really shed some light on the planet and for people, and I would say, I think it's fair to say, have done a lot of our own internal work to make sure that we can be in a place that we can hold space for others.
Yeah, absolutely.
So Casey, I'm gonna let you talk a bit about how you went from a very comfortable, comfortable in the sense of things like benefits and
monetarily.
Yes, right. How you went from that to now being a full-time sound healer, crystal healer, mentor.
Fun.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about how that all started, and feel free to look at me or whatever.
Yeah. Well, so first, before I actually even got into my first and hopefully only corporate job, I was doing music full-time, living in New York City. And I moved to Nashville to pursue my music career. Ended up, you got to pay the bills. So I ended up with a day job falling in my lap for the first time. And it was really the first time I had to compromise my time and creativity. And so I was working this job. I ended up staying there for 5 years. It was one of those things where it just it got comfortable. It was like the hustle mentality that I've really been programmed to maintain when I lived in New York was suddenly gone, and it was relaxing, where I was like, oh my gosh, I don't have to constantly have to sell myself to to pay the bills. So there was a comfort in that side of things. And then it was the first time I'd ever had a paycheck, and it just kind of showed up. I went to the job, I came home and got the paycheck every 2 weeks, and was like, all right, this is nice, a little break from all of that. But over the course of those 5 years, it definitely it caught up to me creatively, for one, and I think too, just I knew that I needed to be doing something else. There were a lot of signs, kind of, especially towards the end, where I was just like, this does not feel in alignment, for lack of better words. I know that's...
I know, I feel like I've said it 300 times.
But it's it really was, it felt just for a while, it was like this, and it was fine. And then slowly over time, it just felt like it felt so difficult for me to just kind of put on this mask every day.
A costume.
Yeah.
You weren't, that's what I was saying earlier to everybody, how eventually you'll just start to feel so split from it that you feel like you're being a totally different person. You go into a different persona at work and then who you are outside of work. And I used to do that too. I'm I'm free when I'm out of work. I'm Joanna. I'm creative. And then I'm at work and I was like, who is this person? This doesn't feel good. So what do you think was the major, the moment where you were I gotta start doing something different. This is not working anymore.
Well, honestly, I think during COVID, when the pandemic hit, and because, I was doing media, I was in PR, and I represented a lot of health and wellness experts. And for me, it was very difficult to have to stay on top of the news. And like, it was during a time where the news was just so much fear, and it felt so difficult for me to have to, watch it and stay on top of it every day as a part of my job. And it was just like, oh my gosh, I just want to break from all of this. Like, I want to just focus on positivity and things that are, helping people instead of like feeding into that fear for a while. And that was honestly that was when it first started, like the chasm.
Yeah.
Chasm.
Yeah, I think so.
Chism.
Yeah.
Whatever the word is.
Started
That's when that started. This moment.
So yeah, it sounds like it got like really clear that it wasn't, your values started surfacing. And I think that's also what happens when you start to work a job that feels like a sweater that doesn't fit anymore, because you're getting more and more clear on your values and you're valuing your values.
Yeah.
And then it starts to feel like a lie when your job is asking you to do things that compromise that.
Yeah, I mean, it was definitely affecting my mental health. Like, that's kind of what it came down to, was just like, oh my gosh, I need a break from this. Like, I have to stay on top of this for me to, what's the breaking news? How can my clients speak to this? Like, really not like using the pandemic to our advantage, but like, I mean, that's what you have to do in PR. You have to say, okay, like, here's the news. How do I, turn this into something for my client? And that it started feeling...
Felt yucky.
Weird, yeah.
So does anybody have any questions for Casey? I have a couple of questions. We only get her for a few minutes. So go ahead and put them in the comment. Yeah, Chelsea's saying yes.
Hi, Chelsea.
The split person, yeah. So if you have a question, go ahead and put in the comments, and then I'm going to ask you in the meantime if you had any advice for somebody who's like feeling that pull at that moment of like, this isn't fitting anymore, I'm a split person. What would be the first step you would suggest, or a step to suggest?
Yeah, I mean, I think for me at that time, at that point I'd already gotten a couple of certifications under my belt of, what it was at the time. And for a while, like, a side hustle was just something I was doing for fun, something that I was really interested in. And I would just say, like, invest in things that are appealing to you and that do feel really in alignment to you, so you can not necessarily look right away and say, like, oh, this is going to be my business, but just start planting those little seeds for yourself to start, figuring out what else what feels good and how potentially down the road you could monetize it, even if it's not like, tomorrow I'm going to leave my job and go do this, or like, as soon as I get this certification, I'm done. Like, it does take a while to build that up.
Yeah.
So like, the sooner you kind of start exploring those different options, the better.
Yeah. I talked about becoming the master gardener. So we're at the point right now where you're gathering the seeds and you're planting the seeds. One seed is you coming here today, right? What's the next seed? And then you create an environment that it can thrive in, and then you nurture it, and then you have to be patient because it takes time to grow. Now, I want to speak to something that is, it's kind of funny. It will be a little bit of an opposing view, but I like that, which is Casey is a personality type that, really values certification, and certification is really important in many things. But I do want to say, don't let that, so then there's some people that will never move forward. They'll just, I need another certification. I need another certification. If there's something,
that is true.
Yeah, if there's something that you like, okay, for instance, if you're a mom of like a special needs child and you've been walking that path for the last 10 years, then you have enough freaking knowledge and skill in that area to hop online and start teaching that. You know what I'm saying? So there are certain things that you can go the certified route. You could also just start gathering, and this is what she was saying anyway, gather your resources regardless. Start gathering, Casey has been a musician since she was a kid. So hello, sound healer, right? That was her, what I talked about yesterday, going through the files of what skills you already have and what you're knowledgeable of, and then growing that. So she had music since she was a kid. So then it kind of naturally guided her into sound healing, right? So start gathering the resources of things that you're already super knowledgeable about, passionate about, skillful in. And then if you want to grow on that, sure, take a course, right? Learn more about it. Learn how to run a business. But don't let this idea that you have to go to school for 10 years keep you from moving forward in this process. That's just a little tip.
Yeah.
I wanted to
No,
say.
for sure. And I've seen it in, now that I'm, training people and giving them certifications, I do see how like at the end of it, it can make it harder for people to feel ready if they're like, well, I still need one more thing until I'm then after I get
it becomes
that,
an excuse.
Yeah.
It almost becomes an excuse,
Yeah,
right? It's
for
like
sure.
the same thing. Like, well, when I have money, I'll start having fun.
Well, and I think too, the other thing that helped was honestly connecting with you and starting to see how you were working in this world and jumping on your events and starting with like just small things, not like immediately just like running my own sound baths. Like I just started, and this was before I even had my certification myself, was just like, joining in and getting connected in the community that is centered around what you're interested in doing and making those connections. And then next thing you know, maybe you're like, oh, let's just like have a party where we all just like have women come over and we all just bring oracle decks and we start reading for each other. And
Chelsea,
then
have you done your topless dance party yet?
Oh my gosh. Where's our invite? We would be there.
I did a program called Empress Rising, and Chelsea was like, I just want to do.
That's right. I
right?
do remember that.
So come on, girl. Plant the seed. Get the first step going. So that's funny. Yes, I totally agree. And then the number one thing is, when the doubt and the fears come up, what is your go-to? Like when you would get hung up on like, what am I doing? I had a 6-figure corporate job. I was comfortable. Like, what am I, I've only made X amount this month. Like what moved you through those fears and those doubts and those voices?
I mean, I think it was different things at different times. I think at first, initially, it was like, I have this nest egg so I can do a couple low income months and like, I'll be okay. Like, I know I will be okay. But yeah, then because it does take time. And I think that's one thing, like you said, the patience. But I think for me, it was having my faith in myself and knowing like, I know that I will figure it out because that's just the person that I am. Mm-hmm. And trusting the universe too. I think this is something that I've seen a lot with my students is like, especially when they're in the level 2 certification, doors just start kind of opening up when you're open to receiving them. And I think, coming back to kind of your theme with all of this is really like honing your rituals and your things that you can come back to open you up creatively, to inspire you. Those, whether it's downloads from your source or it's, guiding you to go to a yoga class and then you meet this person, and just like staying in the flow of things and just trusting that if you're on the right path, like the doors will open when you're ready for them. And yeah, I just think I've just seen it so much.
Playing the bowls was learning how to play the bowls became almost like a source of like doing that clean out when the negative thoughts and the fears would come up. You had your tool of the singing bowls, and then you also have meditation, right? You do a mantra every day.
Yeah, I do transcendental meditation, which is mantra meditation
every day.
Every single day. It's like non-negotiable.
Yeah, so that's what I keep coming back to, right? This path is not for wimps, right? You gotta build that muscle, and building that muscle of a consistent practice is gonna be the thing that's gonna help you to move through any kind of hiccups. Or really the hiccups are typically, sometimes they're physical manifestations, but a lot of time they're mental, and that's important to have something to reset you or put you in a place to self-examine.
Yeah, and I think too, if you're programmed for like, you've had a day job for 10 years and like you're used to waking up at this hour, and then you have your day is kind of already planned out for you, and you don't get your you time until nighttime, or if you wake up super, super early, then all of a sudden, if you don't have that foundation anymore, it can be really challenging. Just like, oh my gosh, you wake up and like, what do you do to get yourself motivated for the day? So my morning routine is literally 2 hours of my day.
Yeah, me too.
And it's like, it's so luxurious. I know that it's like, when I have children in the future, will probably go away. that 2 hours at least.
I
But
just answered Chelsea. The other Chelsea is asking what your handle is on Instagram. So it's at Casey Lane, and I'll also put in a link at the end of this to her website so that you can connect with her on there as well. Yeah.
Love that.
She's awesome. She's one.
Thank you.
She is my go-to for whenever I host events to do the sound healing portion. All right.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Oh my gosh,
you
so
guys
welcome.
have to hang tight here, please, because I have a really exciting thing to share with you and just a couple more tidbits and then open for questions. Very quickly, if there's any other questions for Casey, you can ask her that now. All right. And yeah, you get skedaddle.
Awesome.
I love you.
Thanks for having me. Good luck to everyone as
Yeah.
you continue down this path, and congratulations on taking this
And
big first step.
Yes,
That's awesome.
Casey will be in the group so that she will answer questions too if you leave them in the comments moving forward. And Chelsea says your morning routine will be even more important when you have children. Oh, I bet.
Yeah.
I bet that is true.
Yeah.
All right.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Yay.
Amazing.
Love you. I'll see you later.
Bye.
All right. So you can take this with you too if you don't mind. Just put it on the rug right there. Thank you,
Perfect.
darling. So this is really the last piece of the training. Is just tell me in the comments now what is the energy that's moving through you right now. What is the seed that wants to be planted right now? There's some small action that you can do today to put the seed in the ground and begin watering and nurturing it. I'm going to take a moment to see what your comments are. Okay. So, beloveds, an important thing I wanted to share with you that came through last night, which is funny, because I was going to share this later in the group, and I'm like, you know what, I want to take some time to actually talk about it with those of you that are here live, is that I am really excited to share an opportunity with some of you. It's something that starts in 1 week. Some of you have already joined. Next week, I'm starting a 6-week cohort experience called Mantra Medicine. And it is truly medicine and has been the number one tool that has helped me navigate any direction I have been ready to switch to for my growth and my next level self. Mantra has been the go-to that actually works. So this is my 3rd time running this cohort, and I'm probably not going to do it again for a little while, but I wanted to run it one last time because the results I was seeing were ridiculous. Because what we do and what makes it unique is that we are all doing a daily practice. We do a different mantra each week for a different theme, and we're practicing it every day together. Well, we're not practicing it every day together. Energetically, we are. We meet once a week. We practice it together, and then you have a daily tracker, and we're all supporting one another, and we're live in a Telegram group, and the energy is just so nourishing. And everybody who's attracted to this cohort, to this program, are the ones that are like, no, I'm ready to take it to the next level, so much that I'm willing to start a daily practice. And it's just so nurturing in getting you to cultivate a daily practice, piece by piece, little by little, nothing crazy, 3 minutes a day. But it's just been so transformational for everybody who has joined. I have the testimonials on my website. It's been truly life-changing. I really believe that it is the medicine to support you while you are entering in and getting your energy to catch up with the things that you are calling into your life now at this level of where you are now. Just reading some of your comments here. So you receive this clarity. There's no more questioning of like, oh, what are the tools that I need to do so that I can navigate the worries that come up, so I can get in touch with my own inner guidance system or divine guidance system. There's no more questioning that. We're going to do once a week a Kundalini-based practice to clear your energy. And we're going to chant a mantra that has a specific outcome. And then you're going to be guided to do that for the week. And with the mantra, it's going to help you to examine some of these areas in your lives where you have blocks, where you have doubts, where you have worries, and then also create space, make you a clear channel for that guidance, make you a clear channel to understand what the calling is, what the next step is. I've seen nothing work more powerfully, which is why I'm doing it for the 3rd time. And isn't it worth it? Isn't it so worth it to learn these practices that can do for you what takes people 5 years, you can do it in, a month or 2 months worth of time because you're clearing out on a daily basis. All right. And there's nothing more powerful than doing it with like-minded community. There is power in numbers. So when we do this together, the changes are rapid. And I say that with full confidence. I really do. And you also, what makes this so exciting, this is the one thing I'm doing differently this time, is I'm having an in-person live mantra event at the end of it so that we can experience the practice together. It's with live music. I have a dear friend and healer who plays cello. We chant together with the music, and it will wind your watch. It's like taking an energetic shower. So I want to give this opportunity to you at a discounted rate if you have decided to join this. I know a handful of you are doing it twice. You did yesterday and today. And I'm offering a rate of $595. It's very reasonable. If you've done group trainings with me before, it's usually at least double that. I wanted to make this accessible to as many people as possible because I really think that it is a medicine that can change us from the inside out and have that ripple effect on the earth. Truly. I also have 3 payment plans, so it's absolutely doable for you. It starts on March 21st, next week, and they're all recorded, but when you're there live, there's a magic that happens when we're live together. And then there's actually 2 opportunities to attend a live event. There's one specific for this, but I always do a monthly live mantra event. So if you can't make that one for some reason, at the end of it, it runs for 6 weeks, and at the end of it, we do the live mantra event together. So let me know if you have any questions about that. I'm going to take a look at my notes real quickly here. Oh yeah, there's only 3 spots available. So if you want to join, in the comments, just write mantra medicine and I will message you the details and we'll get you registered on that. And you got a little taste of it at the beginning of this with the Om. So yeah, should you choose to not do the cohort, I respect that 1,000%, but find something, some kind of breath work, some kind of yoga, find something that you can do consistently so that you can get the needle moving in the direction of what you're wanting to call in. Our minds can keep us stuck forever. Our minds and our habits can keep us complacent, can keep us telling ourselves stories. Oh, you know what? It's not so bad. And we forget that we only have this one go around on this planet as this person right now, as you right now. This is the only opportunity for you to bring as much of your true self and your soul calling to this life. So find something that's going to hold you, nourish you, and guide you through the process so that you can have the courage to do what you came here to do. Okay? So that's what I have to say about that. Just write mantra medicine in the comments or send me a message. We'll get you registered. And I want to open up the floor for any questions that you might have at this time. Anything about what we talked about, I am here to answer them for you. And I'm going to see what the comments are here. I can read it there too. So Chelsea says, creating the physical space for where I will work on my passions. There was more than one download for what I want to create. Amazing. Do you want to share any of those with us? Having the space for your passions is so important. Again, not something to trip you up, not something to have you not do it. We can get very creative. I remember reading the book, The Artist's Way, and she talks about carving out, like, with tapestries, a corner of a room that's your space, and you let your family know and everybody that this is my spot. When I'm in there, you don't bother me, and you draw that boundary and you take that space. But yes, it's important for your environment to be supportive of the things that you want to create. Anybody else want to say anything? I will also put Casey's her website in the comments. And I'm trying to think if there's anything else. Yeah. Mantra medicine begins in a week. I also do live events. I also do one-on-one mentorship if you're really wanting to go deeper into this process and have somebody directly holding space for you. That's my premium offering. So I only work with a few people at a time with doing that. But the group cohorts are extremely powerful. You meet a lot of like-minded community that are on the same journey as you, and you can learn a lot from one another through that process of doing trainings together. Chelsea says, one is all things women embodiment, beauty, wellness, teaching, and healing. And how perfect is that? Because you are already in the business of you're a stylist, right, at a salon. So you're already bringing that element of beauty. And there's something very powerful. Everything has shadow and light, right? Yes, beauty has been emphasized on women at an unrealistic level where we feel like we're not good enough. But when we start beautifying ourselves to see ourselves as divine royalty, and we want to express ourselves as that, express ourselves as these goddesses, and it's very empowering. So you already have that resource to expand on. So it's brilliant. The second is a dance hall and community center that broadcasts on YouTube. Yeah. Oh my gosh, YouTube is on fire right now. If you do live, I actually have this streaming to YouTube right now as well. If you do live trainings on live streams on YouTube, you're getting a lot of traffic right now. So yes, definitely taking it virtual and start, inviting people and just do a test run. Have fun with it. Oh, that's so exciting. Love it. How about the other Chelsea? Anything come through? Going through the comments. Well, I hope that I've ignited something in you, a code in you that is ready to start doing the thing, that's ready to take the next action. And it could be even fun to take a piece of paper and like make rows as if you had a garden and write down the seeds that you are planting. Like, okay, I'm going to plant the seed of more creativity in the work I create. I'm going to plant a seed of feeling valued and respected. I am going to plant the seed of feeling expansiveness, right? So, and one thing I'll say before we close is that if you're feeling a little bit like, I don't know what I want to do, like these downloads aren't coming through so clearly, then you're going to want to get in touch with, okay, well, how do you want to feel? And I wrote that as a prompt in the Facebook group. How do you want it to feel? Because you could at least start attuning yourself like a tuning fork to how you want to feel and hold that vibration right now. And the more you can sustain that vibration, and again, this is with those practices, will help you to sustain that vibration, then it's going to tip the scale and start opportunities, experiences, people, places, things that match that are going to begin dropping into your life. I dropped my old school mouse, which is what that noise was. I'm going to read the comments. Got a couple more comments coming through here. I love the dance hall idea, Chelsea. All right, lots of things to think about. Thank you for doing this. It came at the perfect time. You are so welcome. All right, so let's close. If that's it, let's close similar to how we began. Rub the palms together. Take some deep breaths. Bring the hands to the heart. Trust that everything that is meant for you is available for you, and just affirm at the heart center that you are willing to stay open to the guidance. I will keep this discounted rate special here through Friday, so you have some time to think about it. Just recalling that there's only a few spots left, so if you know it's for you, let me know. But otherwise, just be totally open to the guidance, the tools, the methods that are available for you. New opportunities, new people. And just pick one word right now. One word that holds the energy that you are saying yes to in your future job, in your future path that's so close. Actually, in the quantum, it's actually already happening right now. So pick one word that holds the energy and let's send it out to the universe with the mantra Om. So big breath in, exhale through the mouth, and let's inhale, sending it out. Om. Inhale, hold the breath. And anything that needs to go, exhale it out. Beautiful, loves. Thank you so much for joining. I love you dearly. I hope to see you soon, and many blessings on your journey. Mwah. Bye.